And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com. As always, visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Go to the app, and they will deliver right to your front door, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or make it down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up, and they will save you 15% off of your order. All right, Aaron. Hopefully, I've got a better reception tonight. I'm in a hotel outside of Nashville now. I'm not at a hotel in downtown Memphis. You want to know what? I am officially an old, Aaron.
I know.
I went to a hotel on Beale Street. I was 1 block away. I did not go to Beale Street for 1 second either of the last 2 nights.
Well, then you lied, saying that you were going to go to Beale Street.
I didn't. I was tired.
Color me shocked.
Yeah, I'm old, and 14 hours in the gym hits a lot different than it used to. Sure. Especially here's the problem. Normally there's a buildup. Like I get a buildup throughout the year. And I didn't have any buildup this year. I was just tired. Like I slept like a freaking log last night. My alarm went off this morning to get me up and go to the games, and I was like,
you slept like a 45-year-old man
that had worked 15 hours the previous day. Yeah.
So you lived your normal life.
that is right. But it was a block from Beale Street. Like, old Chad would have gone out and partied until 2 o'clock in the morning.
No. Young Chad would have done that.
Didn't happen today. I actually got a call from somebody at like 8:45 this morning. I think they were anticipating that they were going to be waking me up in my hotel room. And I was in the gym, and they're like, I am proud of you. And I was like, I am not. I am very disappointed in me. But, stayed for the morning session of games today. So we have a little bit to finish from last night as the reception kind of
seems to be better so far.
Yeah, it petered out big time last night at the end of the show. I went back and watched, and
I did my best to cover.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes. Well, you weren't there watching games, so that's a really difficult task on a night where we're talking about watching games.
It was daunting. Yeah.
Yeah. So back at it this morning. Got my 2.5 game look at Tyler Betsey. As we talked about last night, 6'8", stretch forward from New York, plays at St. Thomas More, where he is coached by Kane Broom. Cincinnati, pretty good shot here. I think, it's a crowded room. Duke is involved. UConn is involved. So from...
Correct me if I'm wrong. Kane Broom just got promoted to head coach.
Yeah, but he's been on staff there.
He was director of...
Yeah. Player development or whatever. Yeah. So Kane is now the high school head coach, has a good relationship with Tyler Betsey. So that definitely helps out Cincinnati. Again, and of course, you know what happens, Aaron?
I don't.
This is kind of the normal, like what happens to me at these type of things. He had his best game after I left. Tonight he scored 21 points. He was 5 of 10 from 3. It was 8 of 15 from the floor. Without the knowledge of seeing, how his game went tonight, I still want to see him be more aggressive, be more assertive. I want to see him get on the glass. I look back at his EYBL stats from this spring. He's had 1 game with more than 5 rebounds. He had 2 games with 5 rebounds, 1 game with 7 between 4 different events. So this is a kid that's 6'8", long arms.
So you want to see out of him the same stuff you want to see out of Tyler McKinley?
No, that's totally different. Tyler rebounds. Tyler aggressive. This kid just kind of hangs around the 3-point line and waits to shoot threes. Now, as 5 of 10 tonight goes to tell you, he's a very good 3-point shooter. But I want to see him do a little bit more. I want to see him, go hit the glass, go, be a little bit more aggressive, go try to shake a closeout and get to the rim off the bounce. Like and I'm curious, he's on a really, really loaded AAU team. I wonder how different he is in high school ball, where he's the best player and, is counted on to do a little bit more. Sometimes you need to see multiple environments from kids to see if they play a different way.
Sure.
When they're option A, as opposed to on his team, he's probably option C, maybe D.
Well, didn't we kind of see some of that with Ray when he was on his AAU team versus when he was on his transfer team that he went? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just part of the process. Like, as you're doing this, as you're scouting, as you're trying to get a good feel for these things, you need to see as many different sample sizes as possible, because just watching in one setting isn't always enough, because, like I said, the roles are different. But I do want to see him be a little bit more aggressive, but he's very talented. Like, make no mistake. Like I said last night, I think he's a surefire top 50, top 60 guy. But I think he can be that, borderline 5-star that his ranking is right now, with just a little bit more oomph to his game. He had 8 points today in an overtime. I think they actually lost in overtime, but then came back and popped 21 tonight. So good for him there. Tyler McKinley, a solid game this morning. Kind of got going early, and then they were up, I think, 18-1 at one point.
Goodness.
So kind of went into cruise control for the rest of the game for most of his team. He finished with 8 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists and a steal in 19 minutes. So really effective from him, efficient from him. Did have a couple shots blocked at the rim. You know what I think I need more of from him, Aaron? I think he's got to watch some Danny Fortson videos and see how Danny used his ass to create space and
back somebody down.
Well, he backs them down, but then when he goes to put the ball up, he allows guys to kind of have that separation where they can block your shot as you're making your move, where Danny would get body to body, and where you couldn't, even though he could barely jump over a piece of paper, you couldn't get an angle on blocking him or distracting what he was trying to do. That's probably the next thing that Tyler really needs to add to his game, is just a better use of his lower body, because he's, like I said, he's not super bouncy. He doesn't have long arms. So he's not just going to go up over top of guys. He's got to figure out how to use what he has and become a little bit more efficient that way. In his night game tonight, so in the game this morning, like I said, 8 points, 9 rebounds. Tonight, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 3 of 7 from the floor. He did hit a 3. So he's finding a level of consistency right in that 8 to 12 point range. And then 7, 8, 9 rebounds has kind of been his sweet spot. I liked what I saw from Tyler. The other thing I really liked from Tyler this morning, is the team they played had 2 stretch 4s that he had to guard. And he showed some ability to stay with smaller guys out on the perimeter. And that's the main thing in modern basketball. You can play 2 bigs, but you better have one that's able to defend out on the perimeter. And he showed a good deal of that today in the morning game that I saw. So that's one of the things I've been looking forward to, kind of getting that view from him on how he's able. He doesn't play. They have 2 true centers on his AAU team. So he plays the 4, and you got to move. You got to be able to move the puppies and keep guys in front of you. And I thought he did a good job of that today. So I was happy with that. Let's see. Jace Richardson was really good again this morning. He's freaking good, dude. And then I look, they're playing right now in a really high level game against the family who has Dylan Grant that UC is also recruiting. They are at halftime. At halftime, Jace Richardson has 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. Dylan Grant, 4 points, 4 rebounds at halftime of that one. Dylan Grant has been interesting because he had one huge game and he's been just okay since then. So I'd like to see him kind of kick back up the intensity. The game this morning for Jace, he was outstanding. Let's see. He had 15 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists in 27 minutes. 5 of 7 from the floor, 5 of 7 from the free throw line. Missed his only 3-point attempt, but they were shooting the lights out of it early in that game and ran up to a huge, I think 20-3 or something crazy like that, right out of the shoot. So I officially can say that I like Jace Richardson a lot. Mark me down in the Jace Richardson fan club.
I'm not surprised. His dad was a flyer. I mean,
but he's not a super bouncy athlete.
Well, I guess Jason Richardson's game evolved, though, right? Like, he wasn't a flyer his entire career, and so
but he was at this age.
He was, yes, and he lasted for 12, 15 years in the NBA. Mm-hmm. I mean, so he figured out a way to stick. So I'm not surprised that his kid is figuring out a way to shine.
Super crafty, just super high basketball IQ, knows what he's doing. Like I said last night, like I'd even like to see him be more aggressive trying to score. But then you look down and he's got 15, 18, 20 points, and you're like, okay, he scored enough. Like
the quiet 15, 20-point game.
Like if that's how he's gonna play, if that's who he's gonna be as a college player, and you knock that down. If he's a 12.6 assist guy in college, you've got a hell of a point guard, and you're gonna win a bunch of games. Especially if he's got 12 points on like 5 of 7 shooting, or he's 4 of 6 from the floor, goes to the line a couple times, hits the 3, and has 6-7 assists. Like you'll take that every day.
Every day. Twice.
Let's see. What else do we have here? I've got shit open everywhere. Jerry Easter, the 2025 point guard from All Ohio Red.
Mm-hmm.
They played Team Thad, who I think is the best team in the EYBL that I saw this weekend. Team Thad won comfortably, but Jerry Easter had 31 points and 9 rebounds.
Good God.
13 of 24, 13 of 22 from the field, 2 of 5 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line. When you're going up against an elite guard in LeBaron Filan and Jasper Johnson, like a couple elite guards, that's getting it done. And then he backed it up, Aaron. Oh my God. Then he backed it up tonight with 27 points and 12 rebounds. Although the inefficiency crept its head in tonight as he took 32 shots to get his 27 points.
I mean, it's Kobe Bryant's stat line right there.
12 of 32, 0 of 5 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line, 27 points 12 rebounds, and 4 assists. He's going to be a good one. He's playing for All Ohio Red. Generally, the assumption is the best player on All Ohio Red every year goes to Ohio State.
I mean, he averaged a double-double today with over 30 points.
Yes, he averaged a 30-point double-double today.
Pretty good.
If he's a little inefficient, and that team's not very – they don't have it's not a big year for talent in the state of Ohio. So he needs to take a lot of shots for that team. So that's coming partly out of necessity. Like you can't overly fault the kid for that. Let's scroll back a little bit and look at the Team Thad stats from that game. Again, these guys are just stupid loaded. They were very balanced in this game. LeBaron Philon, who's Cincinnati is recruiting, had 16 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. 6 of 13 from the floor, 1 of 3 from 3, 3 of 3 from the free throw line. That's damn near a triple-double in 28 minutes of a high school game. Like, pretty damn good. Darian Reed, 12 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Jasper Johnson, 12 points and 7 rebounds. Those guys are really good, and they might win the Peach Jam. Like, I don't have to say a whole lot about Team Thad, other than, like, everybody on their team is essentially what I would say as good as you think they are. So, yeah, that's kind of the rundown for today and catching up on some of the stuff yesterday. It'll be interesting to see when this is all done which teams make the Peach Jam. I mean, Team Thad is a lock. The New York Wrens should be in. New York Wrens have Tyler Betsey. Paul George has Jace Richardson. They should be in. Mocan with Tyler McKinley. They are 9-7, 2 games above 500. They should be in. The families should be in. So most of these guys are going to make the Peach Jam and get a chance to show out at the highest level. So that's kind of where things are at. I did have an interesting back and forth with Tyler McKinley today. He came up and I was watching a game and he's like, "What are you watching?" And I told him guys I was watching. We were talking for a minute and he was talking about, Jace and that he's, he's kind of becoming friends with Jace or whatever. And I was like, I mean, you should just get him to come with you. And he was like, "I don't know where I'm going." And I was like, "You know where you're going." And he just laughed and like shook his head at me and walked away. It's like, "I don't know where I'm going." I'm like, "You don't have to lie to me, bro." So we had a fun little back and forth. But I mean, Tyler's a great kid, and I've known him obviously now for a long time. So we have a pretty good. We have the relationship where we can joke back and forth with one another, and he doesn't know where he's going. I just was giving him a hard time, but can't be a terrible thing that he's becoming friends with Jace Richardson. Just saying,
he's friends with Rayvon, and
unless they go to Michigan State together, like that. Maybe Jace is becoming friends with him. Well, that's where Jay Rich went. So
I can't wait until he retires.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up. I'll be back in town. Aaron, come here. Let's make a decision on tomorrow. Do we want to BP tomorrow, or do we want to maybe wait till Tuesday?
Well,
should we check with the boys?
Let's check with the boys, and we'll let everybody know. Okay. We'll put something out between tonight and tomorrow morning.
I'm going to be driving home and going straight to my aunt's house for Memorial Day family cookout deal. And then, I could probably be home by 8.
I'll be hosting a cookout here at 3. So
yeah, that's when my aunt's thing starts too. So yeah. Let's get with the boys and we'll let everybody know on social whether or not the BBP will be tomorrow night or if we're going to push it back a night until Tuesday, since we don't have a Tuesday show anymore.
Until we do.
That's going to wrap it up. We'll see everybody here soon. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!